Wuppertal is full of differences. It's a very green city, a city with much industry in the valley. I like it, and I like the people there. The competition is completely on the correct space.
18 teams, 11 countries, an international competition for young and creative students, building 18 houses in Wuppertal, energy efficient and social aware.
Tell me, who are you from and what team are you on and what is your role on the team?
My role in the team is a faculty advisor of Team MIMO from University of Applied Sciences in Düsseldorf.
What is the meaning of your project name?
MIMO stands for a minimal impact maximum output, and that is the result of our goals and our opinion to build only if we use it to improve the location, the quarter, the building, and people's circumstances.
And what is your personal motivation to participate in the project?
There are many different reasons. The first reason is that I've studied in Wuppertal. I've studied architecture in Wuppertal. I made my PhD in Wuppertal. I lived in Wuppertal for a few years, and not far away from Quarter of Mirke. I know the Café Ada. I was born in Wuppertal. I lived not there during my first years, but I was born in Wuppertal. The reasons that we have applied with the team are that, the Solar Decathlon is the first time in Germany. We are not far away from Düsseldorf. It's only 20 minutes by train. So from our opinion, it made sense to try to take part in the competition. From the perspective of the professor, I see the best conditions for students to get to know all the contents of academic studies in a practical way in the competition. And my personal feeling is to demonstrate to students more or less everything about energy efficiency in buildings, and the competition shows everything: lowered energy demands, use of renewable energies, and of course the multidisciplinary approach of the current competition really represents the current questions of living, of urbanization, of climate change.
Is it the first time that your university is participating in a Solar Decathlon competition?
Yes, for our university it's the first time, Yeah, but I have still contact to the team from Wuppertal. The team from Wuppertal took part in the first European edition in Madrid, 2010. And during this time, I was a scientific employee at the Faculty of Architecture, and therefore I get in, or I was involved, not really quite much, but I was part of the team. I was in Madrid for 3 weeks, I think, during the competition time and the construction time, of course, and therefore I still have some contacts to former decathletes. I always try to get in contact with them to learn. And of course, I have good contact to the other 5 German teams.
So the first steps have been taken. You have an idea about your project. What is it, and how did you come up with it?
At the moment, we are still in the selection process. That means that we are still running different approaches because of the longer time during the COVID-19 pandemic. We have decided to make another turn of concepts or 4 concepts. At the moment, we have 6 approaches. What they have in common is that we all will use the Café Ada, so it will be part of all our ideas and projects or concepts. All 6 concepts are wooden modules, and we all set up communal areas in a climate-controlled, let's say, semi-public shell. So we have 6 concepts. This turn was necessary for us to have more students in the team, because we have started with the aim to finish the competition next year. But some of the students which were in the team at the beginning will not be at the university anymore in 2022. And therefore, we have decided to make another semester course with new students to have a bigger team and a younger team.
And why did you choose the Pacific urban situation in Wuppertal?
First, we had decided to choose the gap between the buildings, because in our team, we thought that we have a clear idea what should happen in the building gap or the gap between the 2 buildings. But when we saw the situation, renovation and addition, also the Café Ada, we had the feeling that this task is much more exciting and attractive, and that we have much more space available to create a shared residential building, which can also have an impact on the quarter or the neighborhood. That was the reason. And of course, I know Café Ada. Unfortunately, teaching was not possible to that extent or on that way that we have imagined. I basically see my role in giving knowledge and experience to the students, but unfortunately, I didn't see them during the last 5 months. On the other hand, I had to take over all the organizational parts because until now, we have not that funding that we have imagined at the start of the project, and we hadn't the chance to hiring staff or to hire staff. So my role changed a bit.
SDE 21 is the first urban edition of the Solar Decathlon Europe. How do you think can your ideas or your project have an impact on the sustainable cities of the future?
I think maybe not only our project will have an impact on sustainable development, but the competition as a whole, because it's a perfect space for that. Wuppertal is in the middle of North Rhine-Westphalia and the middle of Europe, so many people will see the competition result at the end. And hopefully our contribution will also show how people can live with less private living space by sharing common areas, and of course by lowered energy demand and less impact on the energy infrastructure and material industry.
In the last few months, many people have only been able to work virtually. This is one of the reasons why the final of the SDE 21 was postponed to the summer 22. How is the coronavirus situation in Düsseldorf right now?
The university is closed. We can't get in touch with the students. We are not allowed to make group meetings. Therefore, it's quite hard to get in touch with the students. Some of them are quite new for me. I saw maybe a picture or a video on the screen, but I've never get in touch with them personally. It's a hard process. For us, I think it's quite hard to force them to do a little bit more compared to normal studies.
Do you think that COVID-19 can lead to a chartered view of housing and building when you think of flexibility, community, or nature?
My feeling is that maybe the people currently have less focus on energy efficiency, but more on comfortable homes, more living areas, own rooms for home office, etc. Because so many people were at home during the last months, the children were at home, everybody had to work at home. And therefore, I think really that the people will look for bigger flats and maybe more single family houses. Maybe also in private buildings, more ventilation systems will be installed, so that could improve the comfort and can have an impact on the energy efficiency by lowered ventilation, heat losses. But maybe that is currently the focus. I can imagine that we'll also probably ask for buildings with community spaces so that they can in touch not only with a family, but with a small group. Maybe our contribution will enable and will show such a lifestyle.
Last question. You talked in the beginning of the interview about that. Have you ever been to Wuppertal and how did you like it?
I've been there so many times for 15 years during my studies and PhD. And I cross Wuppertal normally every morning on my way to Düsseldorf. Therefore, I know it and I like it. Wuppertal is full of differences. It's a very green city, a city with much industry in the valley. So it's totally different and have totally different spaces. I like it. And I like the people there. Again, I think the competition is completely on the correct space in the correct city. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the interview.
Okay, yeah, thank you.